Hey, welcome back to the series. Today we're going to talk with an artist that has produced this funky track that you're hearing right now. You know, I'm just going to let him introduce himself.
My name is Bhi Bhiman. I'm a musician, songwriter, singer. I could order those differently, but that's pretty much what I am. And music producer and songwriter.
I've got my eye on you.
I'm moving to Brussels. I'm moving to Spain. I'm moving to Harlem. It's all the same. 'Cause baby, I know you, and I can't explain. Baby, you love me. Baby, all that's changed. So I'm packing up and moving out. Keys are on the table. I decided I'm moving to Brussels.
I've generally written, throughout my career, written songs that are either subversively political, subliminally political, I guess you would say, or overtly political. And a few things in between, but that's sort of my passion for my own writing for myself. I write songs for other people, and I don't generally write political songs for them. But for myself, it's always been a part of me growing up, being aware of social issues, really. Not really politics per se, it's more about people and their struggles, no matter who they are or where they are. I usually take the side of the underdog. I find that to be an interesting vantage point. The person who's kind of stepped on, and not for any good reason. It's generally just bad luck and some sort of powerful person above them exploiting their power. Some of the songs where they're just driving home a point without any humor doesn't get anybody to change their mind or look at it any differently. Kind of look at it the exact same. So I like turning things on their head. I'm not writing about Sri Lankan politics all the time. I have written songs about the Tamil struggle there, but I kind of like that underdog thing that I was talking about, and sort of just like the person on the receiving end of the bad policies and everything like that. Has always been ingrained in me. My parents left Sri Lanka in 1969, 1970, so it's before the Civil War, but ethnic tensions were definitely no good at that time, and had been for a long time. So it was more economic reasons that they left. But growing up, it was always Sri Lankan politics were always around in the house with my uncles and my dad, and just always reading about it, listening to things about it, and as well, my dad had a passion, I guess you'd say, for social issues, regardless of where they are. But the Sri Lankan Tamil experience was obviously just part of my genetics. So, with my family. And I have family a lot of places: Australia, in America, England, Africa, and also in Jaffna in Sri Lanka, and Colombo. But so there's a connection. There's always kind of been a connection to Sri Lanka and people back home, and it's real, and it's real for the diaspora. And it was obviously very tough to watch what happened, and kind of it get glossed over. And so I think people are very angry and really just like, there's nothing you can do about the dead people, really. And that sort of spoke to trying to get vengeance or what, I don't even know, like some sort of culpability on the part of Sri Lanka. I don't think it's going to happen. But helping the people that are still there that have been very directly affected, mothers and fathers and children, and getting them money through NGOs and stuff like that is important. And I think, and I have several relatives. I don't actually have a charity myself, but several of my relatives are involved with charities, one in London and one in Chicago and one on the East Coast here. And I think it's important to do something for the people who have been left behind or, who are still alive. I'd love for there to be more discourse, even between Sinhalese and Tamil. That would probably be more effective than trying to get Americans to care about it. And probably more realistic to happen, even though that's a difficult situation as well. But I mean, there are very center Sinhalese people. I've met several, just in the U.S. And I've met a few that are a little bit, chauvinistic, you might say, in the other way. But there are a lot of people in the middle to be met. And so that discourse should happen. I hope it does happen. I guess there's not enough oil in Sri Lanka for them to care. But these are people, and everybody has the same level of feeling, and I think there's a supremacy feeling, oh, these people are our people in Europe, and even people south of us, a few hundred miles in Mexico, are not our people. You know what I mean? They're not registered as the same kind of people as in France. And if there's a bombing in Mexico, it's not as important as it is in France. And I would really hope that kind of gets changed. But I mean, I'm not an idiot. I guess one of my points of songwriting is trying to kind of change people's minds if they disagree with me. And I feel like I do get people to laugh at themselves if they do disagree with my quote unquote politics. Yeah, I mean, if there's an injustice, like I said, I'm not about politics and politicians so much. I'm more about social issues. So if I see an injustice, I try to work it into a song in order to just at least bring it up, because nobody else is bringing it up. And so I've kind of stuck my neck out in that regard for my career, kind of putting political music out. But I also try to make it something for everybody, and that's sort of a survival thing. And I sort of learned that growing up, being a little bit different from everybody, but having to navigate different cliques, you might say, and offer a clique one part of my my personality, and another clique, a different angle of me. But so that sort of is baked into me. So I do try to add some levity to the heavy message.